In the bite-sized world of social media, we tend to share only the selected highlights. Our Instagram feeds and Facebook walls proclaim to the world all those wonderful things that are happening to us. You know those carefully staged selfies? Let's give this a go. Everyone say TEDx. 1, 2, 3, TEDx! Well, those pictures only paint half the story. Like it or not, we become museum curators, archiving our achievements in digital form. And yet for many of us, those posts only paint part of the picture. It's like watching the trailer for a movie but never actually seeing the whole film. You get a sense of the action, but the experience lacks any emotional depth. Think about all the things that you've achieved in your life so far. That series of events that's led you to listening to this talk. Those amazing adventures and all the disastrous decisions that make you who you are. How well do you share those stories? Do you share them? Or do you keep them to yourself? Most of us dismiss our stories as either irrelevant or embarrassing or uninteresting, and yet those stories are vital in helping our audience understand who we are. And when I say audience, I mean anyone that you communicate with, your family, your friends, your team at work, or 300 complete strangers at a TEDx event. When you share your stories, you create connection. You share the things that make us who we are for fear of appearing either boring or arrogant. And yet those stories are the very thing that make us who we are. I'm not advocating being boastful or regaling people with a long list of all your accomplishments. I'm advocating sharing things about yourself that help you connect with your audience. We don't read the CVs of the people that we admire. We read their biographies. We want to peek behind the curtain, to experience the highs and the lows. Sharing your story is an act of vulnerability. It requires allowing yourself to be seen. But with vulnerability comes power. In the digital age of social media, the age that we live in, invisibility and anonymity, they're just not an option. A quick Google search of your name and reams of data appear. Your story is out there. It should be you who tells it. The latest science tells us that when we hear a story, our bodies produce the hormone oxytocin, and we instantly start to form a connection with the person that we're listening to. Stories bind us together and help us make sense of our experience. As soon as a story has been told, its power multiplies. As soon as it passes the lips, it exists in the imagination of both the teller and the listener. It has momentum. And stories allow us to do more than just document our experience. They allow us to imagine and create what is yet to come. The traces of our past shape the narrative of our future and will continue to influence the stories that we tell. It's a simple 3-act structure. The beginning, the middle, and the end. Every person in this room has a unique story to tell.
In my experience, when I train people, everybody is a good storyteller from birth. The only problem is that you don't believe in it. The second thing is this: write down your stories. You'll notice that you have 3 to 4 times more stories in your life than you normally, or than you thought that you had.
I believe in the power of the story to change the world.
Stories are extremely powerful.
The stories of your past shape the story of your future. Once upon a time, that time is now. Thank you. Thank you.